Good afternoon, class 11 students of Bio Group. Today we are coming almost to the end of our fourth chapter of Kingdom Honora, and we will study almost the concluding portion of this. If you remember that in video 11, children, we studied about 4 kinds of nucleic acids that are involved in various viruses, whether RNA viruses or DNA viruses. Then the nucleic acid of viruses we studied in plants and animal viruses, etc., with examples. We also saw the importance of cryptogram in the study of viruses, and we studied about the morphology of viruses or the structure of viruses. Then in viruses we came across cubic symmetry, or we called it cuboidal symmetry, helical symmetry, and complex symmetry. These were the symmetries that we studied. We also studied about the replication of viruses, their representative types. We saw about replication of various viruses like potato X, potato Y, and we saw their specific examples of the representative types. Today we continue with the study of the tobacco mosaic virus. Now the tobacco mosaic virus was first discovered in 1892 by D.J. Ivanovsky. They were founded to be smaller than the bacteria as they passed through the bacteria proof filters. And we saw that M.W. Bejerenrik in 1898, he demonstrated that the extract of infected plants, or the extract of the fluid of the infected tobacco plants, could cause infection in healthy plants, and called the fluid as Contagium vivum fluidum. What did he call the fluid that was contagious or infection causing, children? He called the fluid as Contagium vivum fluidum. And its isolation from infected plants and the crystallization was done in 1935 by W.M. Stanley. If we look at this diagram, this is a typical diagram of the TMV virus, and here we can see the symptoms on the leaves of the tobacco plant. So we see here that the visible symptoms of TMV infection in tobacco plants is the downward curling of the leaves. So in some of the leaves we could see that they began to curl downwards like this. If this is the straight leaf, they begin to curl downwards like this, you see. And downwards curling and distortion of young apical leaves. What are apical leaves? That are at the apex or the top of the tobacco plant. These leaves began to curl, and you can see here a mosaic kind of a pattern that we see on our mosaic floor, wherein we see dots and patterns on our mosaic floor, or the mosaic tiles on our floor. So in the tobacco infested plants, the leaves showed typical yellowing and green mottling or mosaic symmetry symptoms on its leaves. Then we see that the plants became stunted, and TMV is highly contagious. The debris, what is the debris? That means the broken parts, or those parts which had broken off and had fallen to on the field, on the farm fields. those parts are known as the debris of the infected plants lying in the soil. And this is the chief source of infection of this virus. And the aphids, there were aphids found which are insects. Let me make a typical aphid for you. An aphid looks like this, children. These are the eyes of the aphid, and these are its legs. A typical aphid looks like this. So this typical aphid which I have made here, this particular aphid, children, is a sap sucking insect. So this aphid is a vector or is a carrier of this disease, the tobacco mosaic virus disease. Then we see that the TMV structure looked like this under the electron microscope. Can you see this structure, children? This structure looks like this under the electron microscopic studies, and these have revealed that TMV has two constituents. The outer constituents or the protein coat, this is known as the capsid. You can see in a helical fashion the capsomeres or the protein coat, they are arranged, and these are about 2130 capsids or 2130 capsomeres in one particular tobacco mosaic virus. And you can see the nucleic material here, which consists of the RNA. This is the nucleic material right in the middle, like a spiral it looks like. Okay, children. So the genetic information which was necessary for the formation of complete TMV particle is contained in its RNA. And we see it is possible to remove the protein coat from the RNA. This protein coat can be removed, can be separated from the middle RNA. So that is made possible. And the naked RNA which is taken out is capable of infecting the tobacco plant. This RNA which has been separated, the naked RNA, is capable of infecting the tobacco plant. Then we see the RNA has two functions: self-replication. One of the functions of RNA is self-replication, or making more copies like its own, and the synthesis of virus-specific proteins, because these proteins help in making the protein coat of the new viruses. Then we see bacteriophages are very important. These are viruses which infect the bacterial cell. I had shown you in the previous videos. Here is a typical bacteriophage which you can look at, and these bacteriophages, they infect the bacterial cells, and they are known as simply phages because bacteriophages, they were first discovered by Edward Twort in 1915, and another person by the name of D. Harrell also discovered them in 1917. Independently, he discovered independent of Edward Twort. And while investigating certain type of soil bacteria, they saw that the viruses were also present near the soil bacteria. They are obligate parasites. These parasites, they are obligate parasites and are found in such habitats where bacteria can survive. So all the bacteria infested areas like soil, etc., stored water and other places, the same places the bacteriophages were found. What is the bacteriophage structure? They have an angular head. Do you see this? They have this angular head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a hexagonal angular head, and they contain a tail. And in this tail we see the end plate, and to this tail are also attached the fibers. These are the fibers that are attached to the end tail. Then depending upon the interaction of the phages with the bacterial cells, they have been distinguished into virulent or lytic bacteriophages and avirulent or non-lytic or temperate phages. So there are two kind of phages or two kind of bacteriophages that we are talking about. One is virulent or lytic bacteriophage, the other is avirulent or temperate phage. Infection process. The viruses which always multiply, here let us see in this particular diagram here. It will be made clear if we keep on looking intently at this diagram. We see that viruses which always multiply by using the host machinery. This is the host, this is the bacterial wall, cell wall. So this is the host inside. So we see that the viruses which always multiply by using host machinery, when they enter the host cell, and then they cause lysis of cells called the virulent or the lytic phase. Once they are inside, they break down the nucleic material of the bacteria into which they get in, and this is known as the virulent or the lytic phage. Phage is this virus. Then we see after the lysis of the host cell or breaking down of the host cell, the phages are liberated, and these liberated phages, they can infect the new host cells, and thus they repeat their cycle, this whole cycle again and again in the new bacterial host. On the other hand, we see that the virus whose nucleic acid gets incorporated in the bacterial cell. Now here you will see that the nucleic acid has been sent inside the bacterial cell. Here also you can see the phage is sending its nucleic acid inside the bacteria, gets incorporated in the bacterial DNA and replicate along with it. If it replicates along with the bacterial DNA, it constitutes the lysogenic cycle. But here we would be mainly studying first the lytic cycle, and in the next video only we will go into details of understanding the lysogenic cycle. So today, children, let's concentrate on the lytic cycle. In the lytic cycle, in T4, which is a big phage, you see here, this phage is known as the T4 phage, and this is composed of about 100 genes, and it exhibits this phage, T4, it exhibits a lytic cycle. It has a double-stranded circular DNA enclosed by a hexagonal head. There is a double-stranded DNA nucleic acid inside a hexagonal head, and there is a cylindrical tail. Do you see here? There is a cylindrical tail here which possesses 6 tentacles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tentacles for attachment to the host. So here it is attached to the host. In the lytic cycle, the absorption of phage it comes and sits on the wall of the bacteria. on the surface of the host is facilitated by secretion of an enzyme lysozyme. Now what does the virus do? It secretes an enzyme called lysozyme on the outside of the host wall, the cell wall, which hydrolyzes or it dissolves muramic acid peptide complex. This is a muramic acid peptide complex. This is dissolved and the bacterial cell wall is broken from here. Here you can see a minute pore that has been created by the breaking down of the host wall. Finally, a minute pore is formed. Here's the pore, children, and the nucleic acid of the phage. Can you see the nucleic acid of the phage gets inside or enters the host cell through this perforation that is made in the wall. The following steps of infection takes place. The tail fibers of the phage first bend on the bacterial surface, bringing end plate of the phage in contact. This was the end plate that we talked about. This end plate comes into contact with the bacterial cell wall. The tail sheath then contracts and pushes the central tubular part of the tail into the host cell wall. So the central tubular part of the tail is pushed inside the host cell wall. Then the nucleic acid of the phage, the DNA of the phage, it flows into the host cell through the hollow center of the needle. To the hollow center of the needle, this DNA is sent inside the host cell or the bacterial cell. The nucleic acid takes over the host protein. This is the host protein. It is taken over and the synthesis machinery, the protein synthesis machinery of the bacteria, that is totally taken over. The control is taken over by the phage DNA, and the bacterial protein formation is suppressed. No more can bacteria make the protein for itself. The metabolism of the cell now forms protein of phage particle. So no more the protein is made for the bacteria, but the protein is now made for the phage particles. Can you see here? The protein coats are being made for the phage particle. The viral specific messenger RNA uses the host RNA polymerase. Now the messenger RNA of the virus, this uses the host RNA polymerase, which is an enzyme, and the replication of phage DNA follows the semi-conservative mechanism. This follows the semi-conservative mechanism in which the phage DNA serves as a template. So one of the strands is of the phage DNA, which is a template for the synthesis of viral specific messenger RNA. So the template of the DNA serves as a template for synthesis of the viral specific messenger RNA. The messenger RNA then directs the host cells to synthesize proteins which are used as subunits or capsomeres. You had seen the capsomeres here. So these capsomeres are finally directed by the RNA of messenger RNA, which are viral specific, and we see that at the end of the replication of the phage, the nucleic acid, a protein called phage lysosome, is synthesized. A protein is synthesized which is known as phage lysosome. This protein it breaks down the wall of the host. First of all, the nucleus is synthesized, which degrades or it breaks down the host DNA. And then we see that the DNA becomes resistant to nuclease attacks. So the DNA of the virus children is resistant to the nuclease enzyme attack, but the nuclease enzyme, it breaks open the wall of the host, is broken. After the nucleic acids and capsomere proteins are formed, the process of assembly of new phage particles starts. So the new phage particles, they are being assembled together. This is controlled by the viral genome. So finally the viral DNA begins to control the making of the new phage particles. First, the protein subunits or the capsomeres are aggregated around the DNA. So first the capsomeres or the protein coats are aggregated around the DNA to form the head of the phage. And then the assembly of the tail starts. Then the assembly of the tail starts. First the head is formed, and this head is formed, protein head is formed around the DNA, spiral DNA, and then we see that the tail begins to form. The entire cycle of phage development is completed in 30 to 90 minutes. This is the time taken, 30 to 90 minutes. And a total of 200 phages are formed in one bacterium. The lysis of the host cell or breaking down of the host cell is essential for the liberation of the phage particles. So we see wall is broken down, phage particles come out. It is facilitated by which enzyme, children? By a lysozyme secreted by phage DNA in the host cell. The host cell finally ruptures and results in the lysis, and the virus phage particles are liberated outside to infest other hosts. So we have studied up till here. We have finished up till here the lytic cycle of the bacteriophages. We have studied up till here, till the end of this portion. And in the next video, we will look forward to the lysogenic cycle of the phage. We will study in the next video. So children, wish you all the best. Have a good day. Thank you.